So many people have tight shoulders or aches and pains in your shoulders that can cause bad posture and limit your range of motion. But the good news is, today, I'm gonna show you my favorite shoulder warm-up moves, as well as my 5 favorite stretches and some principles to make sure that you follow to keep your shoulders strong, flexible, and healthy. Hope you enjoy it. The shoulder is really amazing. Not only does it go up and go behind you or go sideways or anything like that, but the shoulder rotates. And if we never practice our ability to rotate our shoulder through a full 360-degree range of motion, then we lose that range of motion, and that puts our shoulder at immense amounts of compromise, right? So this move is called surfer twists. And what you're gonna do is this. We're gonna pretend like we're standing on a surfboard. This palm is gonna go towards the sky, and then we're gonna try to turn this palm all the way around like this, where that palm's toward the sky. I'm gonna try to reach my fingertips as far away from each other as humanly possible. Now, I'm gonna slowly turn my body, and as I do, I'm gonna rotate the front palm toward the sky the opposite direction, and then the back palm the other direction. Doing this every morning to loosen up the shoulders and get that full 360-degree rotation is fantastic for the shoulder joint. If you got a towel, what you're gonna do is this. Nice wide grip on the towel. Lock your arms, tall posture, and then reach the towel away from your body. So I'm gonna push it away from my body, 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 and then try to bring it behind my back. It's probably really tight on the chest, and then bring it down to my lower back like this. Then I'm gonna try to lift it up and come around the other way. Over time, the goal is this. Choke up a little bit more on the towel until you're able to do it with your arms closer together, and consistently, over time, shortening the length of the towel until you have as much range of motion in your shoulders through that full 360-degree range of motion as possible. Practicing this every day for, again, 90 seconds, maybe 10 reps, 15 reps, can be a fantastic thing for you to determine how flexible your shoulders are. Here's a sink stretch. Let's pretend this is a sink. What we're gonna do is grab onto the sink, make sure it's nice and sturdy. We're gonna walk our feet backwards like this, and we're gonna bend the knees softly, whatever feels comfortable. You can go wide stance too if that feels more comfortable, right? And we're gonna imagine there's a string tied around our sternum pulling us down. And right there, we're gonna just allow that string to pull us down. And we're gonna breathe in, and as we exhale, we're gonna bring that chest down. Now, something really important to note here is that a lot of people, when they bring their arms overhead, are gonna bring their shoulder into internal rotation. So if you watch your hands, you're gonna wanna do this. Your armpits, the elbow pits are gonna go like this, and your shoulders are gonna kind of shrug up. And that's gonna be putting your shoulder in a compromised position. So if this is you, if you find yourself shrugging it up and you watch your elbow pits turn towards each other or down, then instead of grabbing onto the sink like this, I like to think about thumbs toward the sky and then just doing the stretch with the thumbs toward the sky to ensure that your shoulders are in a good position, okay? Now, I'm in a standing position like this. For some people, this is way too much for the hamstrings. So what you can always do too is this, and you don't have to do this on the sink, you can do this on the back of the couch, whatever. You can do this in a kneeling position. So again, thumbs toward the sky, or grab on and make sure those elbow pits face upward, right? And then come into a kneeling position, and then the same thing. Imagine there's a string in your sternum pulling you down. Sometimes this stretch can be a more advanced variation that allows you to get way more range of motion in the shoulders. And again, just going inhale, and then as we exhale, just dropping the chest towards the ground. Now, all of these shoulder stretches you should be doing for anywhere between, let's say, about 30 to 90 seconds. And I like to tell people, just do what feels good. And if you're doing it on the shorter range, 30 seconds, then maybe try to come back and do 2 or 3 rounds before you stop the shoulder stretch. Don't just do 30 seconds and then don't do it again for 3 days, right? Do 2 or 3 times 30 seconds, or 2 times 60 seconds, or 1 time 90 seconds during your stretching routine, okay? And again, the sink is a great way to do this because you can grab on and you can even let the shoulders come up away from your ears as you do that sink stretch, okay? We're gonna do this classic shoulder stretch. All right, this one looks like this. I'm gonna come down to my butt. I'm going to bring my hands behind my back, and I'm gonna point my fingertips backwards like this. Now, a lot of people cannot do this, and that's fine. So what I'm gonna tell you is this. Wider hands, if you can't do it like I was just doing there, and fingertips turned out to the side, and we're not gonna go very far for you. We're gonna focus mainly on getting good technique of recruiting the scapula to be able to pull the shoulder blades back and down and feel that looseness happening in the chest, okay? So here's what we do. In this position, we just kind of walk our butt forward. We wiggle our butt forward. And the whole time, I'm trying to think about reaching my sternum upward toward the sky. So I'm not allowing my shoulders to do this. All right, that might be hard to see, so I'm gonna show you one more time. If my shoulders are down like this, right, that's the internally rotated shoulders. I want my shoulders to be back like this and my chest lifted toward the sky. You can even let your head come back slightly if that feels more comfortable. And we're just gonna keep that the whole time as we slowly walk our butt forward. And every time we find a spot that's tight, we just sit there, we breathe. We lift the chest, we walk the butt a little bit more forward, okay? And you're gonna just stay there for as long as you want, again, 30, 60, 90 seconds, and then slowly walk the butt back, bend the elbows if you have to, and move your way out of this position. This is another great stretch, by the way, for people who don't have that full extension of the elbows, because it stretches not just your shoulders and your chest, but all the way through your biceps too. So it's a fantastic stretch for the whole upper body as you're doing this movement. Now again, if you can't do this movement, there's a couple different ways to do it, all right? One, if I'm on the ground, I go fingertips to the outside, shoulders wide, and I'm just gonna lift my chest, and I'm just gonna probably be in this position. And literally, I'm not gonna walk very far forward. Instead, I'm just gonna be here, and then maybe what I'll do is I'll walk my hands in, lift the chest. Hold for a few seconds, take a couple deep breaths, walk my hands in, lift the chest. And we don't even start sliding our butt away until we're able to get to that start position, all right? Now, if that's still too difficult for you, which I have a lot of empathy for, a lot of people have tightness in it, come back to your chair, fingertips to the outside, bring them to the back of your chair like this, and then all we're gonna do is just lift the chest in the chair, and scoot your butt to the edge of the chair and just try to feel that stretch coming through the shoulders and the chest. What a fantastic move. You can do this anytime, anywhere. Lift, 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 lift that chest as much as possible, right? So these are two amazing stretches for getting that full range of motion in the shoulder, in front of you and behind you. First, we're gonna focus on the chest stretch. So again, we went arms overhead, we went arms behind back. Now we're gonna go arm to the outside. And my favorite way to do this is this. Come down to the ground. You can do this in bed, by the way. So if you like to lay in bed and do the stretch, please do by all means. You're gonna lay down on your belly. You're gonna bring this arm to the outside. So I'm gonna take one arm, put it to the outside, and you're gonna play around with this hand position. For some people, you'll feel the deepest stretch with a bent elbow that's in line with the shoulder. For others, it'll be more of a straight arm and a hand up a little bit higher. So try playing around with the position and looking for the position that feels the deepest in your chest muscles. So from the sternum all the way into your shoulder, okay? Once you found the position that's right for you, I'm gonna say just bend it about 45 degrees and keep the elbow just slightly higher than the shoulder. Turn your thumb towards the sky if you can. That's gonna help that external rotation of the shoulder to protect the shoulder. And then we're gonna do this. Put this hand on the ground and we're gonna kind of roll our body away from that arm. Now, a lot of people, you might just roll like this. Oh my God, you're gonna feel that chest stretching already. That's totally fine. Just take some deep breaths and relax, okay? And then you can play around with the position, try to find that deeper chest stretch, whatever feels good to you, okay? Find that deep chest stretch. Now, if you can get into this position, we can keep rolling and we can breathe and we can start to bring our hips facing this direction away from the shoulder, okay? And then if we can bring our foot in front of us and start pushing off of that foot and rotating our body as much as possible deep into that chest stretch. One of the things you can do in this stretch that's really cool is you can push your elbow into the ground, creating a little bit of tension in your chest, and then big breath in, and open it up, like that, right? So we're just kind of rolling away from that arm. All right, this feels really good. I could stay here all day, you guys. And if you really want to go to the next level, we take our leg and we swing it over to the other side, and we start to open our body using that leg to pull us down into the position, okay? All right, wow, that one feels good. I'm gonna show you on the opposite side here real quick, just to make sure that I get my chest stretched out on both sides, and so do you. So arm to the outside, thumb pointed towards the sky like this, all right? We can play around this position. We're gonna roll away from it. We're gonna try to keep that chest glued to the ground as much as possible. And we're gonna open our body. We can use our hand, we can use our knee on this side, whatever feels comfortable to allow us to open our body as we open the chest. Now, this is an amazing stretch that I like to do almost every single day to loosen up the chest, keep the shoulders nice and healthy. And when you're done with it, what's really great, I'm gonna come out of this one now. You guys can come out of it in just a sec. It feels so good on your shoulders. You have so much more range of motion. You feel so much better after you finish this stretch, okay? I'm gonna stay back down on the ground. These are part of my 3 ground shoulder stretches. So I'll start with the chest like this, then I'll take my arm and I'll swing it across my body like this. Now the goal on this stretch is this. Can I slowly turn my body as I'm breathing towards my arm, and almost to the point where it feels like your arm is about to choke you because it's pushing up against your neck. And then can I lift my leg on the same side of the arm I'm stretching? I'm gonna see if I can lift my left knee up and to the outside like this. When I do that, it's gonna put a lot of pressure downward on the shoulder capsule. And it's gonna stretch a lot of strange muscles you probably never felt in your shoulder. But holding this stretch for 30, 60, 90 seconds is fantastic for giving you more space inside the shoulder capsule that'll make your shoulders feel incredible. This one, I'm gonna lay on my back. I'm gonna take my fingers and I'm gonna put them underneath my lower back, right? Just so they're right next to my spine right here. Now I'm gonna take my shoulder and I'm gonna push it back against the ground. So don't roll your shoulder forward like this. Push it back against the ground
and I'm just gonna start to reach with this arm, this direction, trying to get that internal rotation of the shoulder capsule. None of these stretches should be done to the point where you're like, 100% difficulty or anything like that. I don't want anybody getting injured. We're trying to create range of motion inside the shoulder capsule so that you can restore the function of your shoulder to be able to move your arms all around your body overhead pain-free again.
Principle number 1 is you have to have a strong core. You have to be able to have a stable core. If I go to move my arm over my head like this and my ribs lift up and my body's moving around, my spine's moving around relative to my arms, I don't have a stable core. So how do we create a stable core? Right, my favorite way to teach it is this. If I put my hands on my belly right here, especially by my sides, if I jab my fingers into my belly and I cough and hold that cough, that's the type of core tension I want as I lift my arms overhead. For a lot of people, you're not gonna be able to do this without taking a huge breath in, and the moment you blow the breath out, whoop, your fingers are gonna go back in. So it's gonna be something you have to practice, is creating that core stability. Coughing and holding the core in that position, okay? Once you're able to start practicing this every day, it will get easier and easier, because remember, this is not a core exercise where you're doing crunches and sit-ups. This is a mind-muscle connection drill. You're doing a drill to build better mind-muscle connection with your core, to create more stability in your core so that you can go and move your body, your upper body and your lower body, much safer because you have that core stability, okay? So that's number 1. Principle number 1, make sure that when we go to do something with our arms, that we have a strong core, that we're not loose in the core, because then we're gonna actually put a lot of pressure in the upper back, the neck, even the lower back sometimes as well. Second, I wanna make sure that you have activated lats. And I'm gonna say the word lats, these muscles that are underneath your armpits, it's really a lot more than the lats. It's all the muscles that surround your armpit and that surround your shoulder blade that need to be strong and active. You need to have access to these muscles. So what does this mean? A great drill for you to practice if you don't know how your lats are supposed to feel is this. Put your arm up, bend the elbow slightly so you're just a little bit higher than over your head. Take your hand, put it on the bottom of your elbow, and then drag your elbow towards your rib down like this. And when you start to feel that muscle flexing right here in the armpit, that is your lat muscle, your serratus muscle, right? So pull down against the elbow, start to feel what it feels like to have that lat muscle. Now, allow the arm to come up and maintain that lat squeeze. Now the question is, can you maintain that lat squeeze as your arm comes overhead, as you shrug up, as you pull down? Oftentimes when people go to lift their arms up, their lats turn off, their serratus turns off, the muscles that their lower traps turn off. The muscles between the shoulder blades, the rhomboids, turn off. Not fully, but the muscles that turn on to move it are the neck and the traps. And so all of a sudden, we're using these small muscles that are supposed to support our spine and our neck to lift our arms overhead, instead of our shoulders being properly placed down like this, so dropping the shoulders away from the ears, and then being able to lift the arms up while feeling that lat tension, okay? So principle number 1, core. Principle number 2, making sure we have access to our lats. I want you to feel your lats as you move your arms overhead, in front of you, to the side, behind you. We should be able to feel those lat muscles. And again, the best way to practice it, just practice by pushing down with your elbow and feeling what that lat feels like. Especially imagine you're going up, grabbing something out of the cabinet. Oh, my shoulder hurts. Pause, find the lat. Now reach up and make sure that lat's active and see if you can bring your arm up to grab that thing you were doing without pain. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find out that you were just compensating with these muscles up here, these little muscles, to lift your arm up instead of keeping the lats packed back and down. Okay, last principle, I'll have it in one sec, is external rotation, okay? So instead of when we lift our arm over our head, our shoulders rolling forward and our armpits being hidden, we want the armpits to show, and we want the shoulder to roll backwards like this. So when we bring our arm overhead, it's really helpful. I always tell people, if you find yourself reaching up and your palm is turning away from you, then it's likely that you're having internal rotation of the shoulder joint. If your palm turns towards you like this, where your thumb's backwards at least, now your shoulder's in a good position. If you press your arm overhead and your arm's like this, and you're shrugging with your shoulders, you're gonna hurt your shoulder. I promise you, it will happen. If you turn your palms towards you and you press your arm overhead, you might find that you're able to do things that used to hurt immediately without pain, because you're externally rotating the shoulder capsule, not internally rotating the shoulder capsule. So if you're having trouble lifting your arm overhead pain-free, I've got a special drill for you to practice, okay? This one looks like this. You can come to the edge of a chair with nice tall posture. You can straighten your arms with your thumbs facing toward the sky. Now from here, I want you to drive your fingertips down towards the ground, away from your ears, and squeeze your hands towards your arms, and what you'll feel is those lat muscles and all the muscles underneath the armpits firing. Now, you can bring those arms up like this, slowly, feeling those lat muscles firing. And if you start to feel those lat muscles stop firing, come back down, reactivate them, and then slowly come back up. So you're kind of inching your way up, maybe inching your way back if you need to, slowly but surely. If you start to feel like you're internally rotating, pause, come back down. You can even bring your palms towards the sky instead of your thumbs, right? And slowly but surely lift your arms overhead while those trap muscles are relaxed, while those neck muscles are relaxed, while we're keeping the shoulders packed using the lat muscles, right? So again, what we're doing in this drill is multiple times a day, set that timer that says, practice lifting your arms overhead. And just start down here and slowly work your way up. When you start to lose the lat tension, pause, come back down, regain it. When you start to internally rotate, pause, turn your palms up, regain it, and slowly work your way up. When you start to feel like you're gonna arch through your back instead of reaching through your arms, pause, tighten the core, regain it, and then just slowly work your way up to the top position that you possibly can with your arms over your head, and then slowly back down, maintaining all that musculature. So what we're doing here is we're taking time out of our day to learn how to move differently so that our body is protected. And those three principles, core tight, lats active, externally rotated, are gonna be principles that are gonna make your shoulders feel so much better. All right, I really hope you enjoyed this clip from our Upper Body Fix Masterclass. Now, if you want to get access to the full masterclass, where we go over all the details to make your upper body feel amazing, including stretches for your fingers, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, your upper back, and your neck, teaching you how to feel amazing in your upper body again, well, all you have to do is click the link below and you can get access for free. I'll see you there.